Good evening, everyone. I know you didn't get the notice, right? I know. You know why? Because I didn't send one. I just got in from a meeting and I just decided to come on because I was getting a note from some of you guys saying that you hadn't heard from me. So anyway, I just ran in from a meeting, so that's why it's 7:30 instead of uh, 7 o'clock or 20 minutes to 8. It's a little bit later than when I would normally be holding a meeting. So anyway, we have a lot to talk about. I wanted to talk about some of the things that's been going on in the nation here lately. Um, some good, some questionable. Um, you know, um, just depends on what side of the tracks you're on, I guess. And it looks like the government has gone scorched earth as far as trying to get things back in order from the last few years that we have been under just uncontrolled whatever it was that was going on in the nation. So, so tonight I wanted to talk about some of the things that the Trump administration is doing, has done, or is in the process of doing. And let me turn my mic is turned up. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me check something real quick. Um, yeah, you should be okay. You should be able to hear me just fine. So if you're on, just signal from behind. What in the world is going on back here? I don't know. Hold on, y'all. Looks like my oh, there you go. Thought my door was open or something weird was going on back here. Anyway, so I'm just a little out of sorts right now. Anyway, so the country is trying to get back in shape from the destruction that we have suffered over the last few years. And it's going to take a lot of work. And anybody that thinks that everything can be done in 4 years is crazy. We just can't recover everything. I think we can recover a lot. I think financially we can probably, as a nation, recover a lot. But it's going to take some sacrifice, and that is already happening. So, one of the things that I want to mention is we have a new attorney general. Make sure that you sign in at the bottom and let me know where you are, where you're signaling from. And I'll start out by saying hello to everyone. Oh, Lori. Thank you. Good to know. Um, so we have a new attorney general. Pamela Bondi has been sworn in as the attorney general of the United States. And she has stopped all funding to sanctuary cities. Now, let me say something because I know I may have some bleeding heart people on here. I am not against helping people that need help. But when you demand funding from us and you're taking taxpayer money while you're simultaneously burning the American flag, saying death to America and all this kind of stuff, I think the taxpayers have a problem with that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Some just thinks about that whole thing. So that's just kind of dumb. We've got these cities that are literally harboring fugitives. Hey, JB, you made it. Literally harboring fugitives and are angry that the taxpayers who overwhelmingly voted for a change of government and a change of policy and a change of vision for this nation, you have people who are absolutely angry that the majority of the American people do not want the lawlessness to continue. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that the ones that are advocating for this are lawless individuals. And they are more interested in the destruction of the country than they are the welfare of the American people. So just look at your neighbor and say, which side of this are you on? Right? So that you'll know who you can trust and who you can't. I'm just saying. Pamela Bondi, the new attorney general, has stopped all funding to sanctuary cities, and she has gone on to vow to prosecute officials who obstruct immigration enforcement, as she should. Absolutely should. You know, it's amazing to me how people can get on the national mic. And when it comes to President Trump, they was, oh, he's a 34-time convicted felon and all this kind of stuff over charges that they made up. They made the stuff up, just like they made up the whole Russia hoax and lied about the laptop and all kinds of stuff. Let me get you to hold just for a second. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm back. Um, Anybody that's harboring fugitives and doing all this kind of stuff needs to be prosecuted. There are laws against that. There are laws on the books against that. And I think the American people are sick of the duplicity that we have seen in Congress and in the Senate. When it comes to law, it only applies to the American people, or it only applies to their political opponents, but it doesn't apply to them. I mean, they can racketeer, they can spy, they can money launder, they can do all this kind of stuff, and yet get on national television and say, no one is above the law. Okay, we're coming for you. Okay, he's coming for you, and she's coming for you, because no one is above the law. So just keep that in mind. Go tell your friends that too. ICE, immigration, and enforcement is actively seeking hardened criminals that have been unleashed against the American people by the Biden-Harris administration. Now, I'm going to tell you, this didn't just start with them. Even though Obama did export a lot of illegal people, he exported people that he didn't like, right? But he also helped fund people that didn't like us. So there's that, right? But nobody, listen. My daughter went to Costco the other day. I told her, pick me up a big box of popcorn. So she did. You know why? Let the show begin. This is what I got to say about it. Let the show begin, because I'm going to sit back and watch this craziness unfold. If we had not experienced in the last 4 or 5 years what we had experienced, some of you would have no idea just how deep the corruption has been running in this government for a very long time. You had to have a contrast, right? You just looked at it like, oh, it's inflation and the price of things are going up. Do you know why the price of things were going up? Because they were stealing your money. That's why the price of things were going up. They were stealing your money, shutting down businesses, funneling money to all these little shell organizations and fake charities and all this mess, and bringing it right back to the Democrat Party. Mm-hmm. And the rhinos. Don't forget the rhinos of, Republicans in name only. Anyhow, the last administration unleashed all kinds of hell against this country. As a matter of fact, I remember Chuck Schumer getting on the national mic and holding a press conference and saying to President Trump, you have unleashed the whirlwind. That's what he threatened the American people, because he did not like the decisions that were being made. So all the way back as far as Secretary Clinton calling us deplorables, irredeemable, and I mean, these people have never liked you. Okay, they don't like you. They don't like me. I don't really care. But they don't like you. They don't like me. They call you all kinds of names, and then they want your vote. Yeah, that's right. As a matter of fact, they will come at you with racial slurs and telling you that if you don't vote for them, then you ain't black. And all kinds of crazy stuff they say out of their mouth, but they call Trump a racist. Okay. I just want you to just take a step back, or as the founding fathers would say, get the 30,000-foot view. Okay, just go up higher and look down on the situation, and you'll see what's really going on here. Okay, the Biden-Harris administration unleashed illegal immigrants, violent criminals, in conjunction and in cohesion with other countries that hate us, like Venezuela and all these other communist Marxist countries who do not believe in the American experiment. They do not believe in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. They believe in life and their own liberty and the pursuit of their own happiness, but they don't believe in yours. And this Marxist communist regime that the American people just kicked out of office by a landslide have collaborated with foreign nations for the downfall of our country, while they're telling you that they're concerned about your welfare and that everybody has a right to be happy. Everybody, while they are stealing and robbing you blind right in front of your face. Okay. I mean, you can't get any more bold than that. All right. ICE is actively seeking hardened criminals. And let me tell you something. I hope and I pray, and I pray and I hope and I pray some more, that Pam Bondi prosecutes every mayor, every governor that is standing in the way of federal law, that is giving aid and comfort to the enemy. That is treason. Okay, that is treason. These are elected officials that have sworn an oath to defend the Constitution, all right, against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and they have given aid and comfort at your expense as a taxpayer to the enemy, to people who can absolutely add nothing to this country, but they can take from it and take from it and take from it. And the thing is, I feel sorry for some of these people because they were lied to. They were used as cattle fodder. They were used. They were used for a political gain because they knew that they were losing the vote of the people, because the people were suffering under the whip of Pharaoh. Okay. Make bricks without straw. If you know, you know. Okay. If you know the Bible, you know what I'm talking about. And the American people got sick of it. So we have laws in place, and now we have people in office elected by the American people to uphold those laws and to uphold their constitutional oath to the people. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. The president had mentioned, which I did not know this, so this was really something. I need my popcorn now. Let me tell you, Guantanamo Bay, Gitmo, has 30,000 beds. 30,000. That's a lot of criminals. 30,000 beds waiting to receive its new guest. Okay. Now, I could start at Congress and the Senate and go down the list of some of the people who should have their name on a bunk. Okay. Because these people have been stealing from this country for decades. You have people that have been in politics for 40 and 50 years, stealing from the American people and lying to our face about it, lying about where the money was going, lying about the need for this and the need for that, and using all kinds of tricky phrases and catchwords and all this to deceive you into thinking that your tax dollars were going to a worthy cause, and the only thing that was happening was it was going to them because they wanted it. Okay, that was the cause. The cause was they wanted to line their own pockets, take care of their own family members and their friends, live high off the hog at your expense. This is what happens in communist nations. This is why you can look at some countries and the leadership is living in opulence. I mean, they're living they're living, sitting in the lap of luxury, and the people are sleeping on the streets. We see the same thing here. We see the same thing here because the last administration really, really tried to destroy this country. Okay. And I'm telling you, we were hanging by a thread. We're still hanging by a thread. We are not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. And they are not going away quietly into the night. Okay. They're just not going to do it. They didn't fight for 8 years, almost 9 years, try to kill somebody 2 times to just say, well, you win. Nope, 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 nope. You got the Maxine Waters of the world telling people, telling Americans, citizens, that they're not welcomed here. Okay. Okay. Mad Max telling American citizens who are here legally that they ain't welcomed here. And to get on the mic and say, this is our country. Who's she talking about? Who's we? Who is our? Who are you talking to, Maxine? Who are you talking about? Anyway, y'all, everybody know Mad Max, go ahead and pass her my video. I want her to come to me. So anyway, Guantanamo Bay has a 30,000 person capacity, which will be used by the Trump administration to house international, foreign, and domestic criminals. Okay? Foreign and domestic criminals. We have people who are still have not been released from prison, even though they have received a pardon from the president, a presidential pardon. And you've got some of these crazy mayors and stuff that are holding these people in jail, even though they have received a presidential pardon. It's sad. And you have people saying, like JB just said, my sister told me Trump is not her president. Well, like it or not, if she lives in this country, that's her president. You know why he's her president? Because he didn't steal the election. He didn't cheat. The American people voted for him. It wasn't no ballots getting slipped in under cover of darkness at night and stuff getting thrown away in dumpsters. That last guy, he wasn't nobody's president. Okay. This guy won an election fair and square, like him or not. But that's okay. That's okay. She can feel that way if she wants to. It's amazing how people, when they were prospering, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, whenever it was, when the economy was doing a whole lot better than what it is now, when eggs were not $8 a dozen, okay, when eggs was $1 something a dozen or $2 a dozen, and now they're $8 a dozen. They liked those prices, but they didn't like the guy who had set the policy in place for those prices to be like that. But there you go. 30,000 beds. Now, I that's a blessing and a curse. I'll tell you why I say that. I believe that these criminals need to go to prison. I do. I don't like the fact that it would be at taxpayers' expense. I don't like that. I don't like that. I feel like the taxpayers of this country have paid enough money. So this is what I think needs to happen. And it is happening because the president has been on the phone with these different countries saying, you need to take your criminals back. Okay. You sent them here. We didn't want them. We didn't invite them. We wouldn't have invited them. Now they're on our streets, raping and pillaging and killing our citizens. You need to take them back or we're going to do something for you. Or we're going to do something to you. Okay. Or whatever. And so, only he and these different heads of state are really privy to exactly what the threats were. But why is it that all of a sudden, all these heads of state are agreeing to take their people back? What is that about? What I would like to be a fly on the wall. I want to know, what did President Trump say to these people for them to all of a sudden do an about face and decide they're going to cooperate? He's got some leverage that the average person is not privy to. He's got some leverage because If they really felt like they had him over a barrel, they would just say no, right? So, yeah, get more ready, get more ready. But I don't think the taxpayers should pay for that. And I like the fact that they're cutting back so much on all of this fraud and waste and abuse. And I mean, $15,000 going to some other country, $15 million going to some other country for gender studies. Listen, if they can't get it figured out when they drop their pants or lift their skirt, what gender they are, why we gotta pay for that? Why we gotta pay for that? They need to go talk to their parents and get their heads screwed on straight. Because why should you have to pay for somebody else to figure out what gender they are? Listen, here's the thing. If you a man and you want to play dress up, that's your business. But I shouldn't have to pay for your dress. Okay, that's how I feel about it. If you a woman and you want to get your stroll on and you want to glue on a mustache and say your name is Butch instead of Barbara, that's your business. I ain't paying for your mustache, okay? I ain't paying for your mustache. I ain't paying for your jock strap. I ain't paying for no other artificial whatever you want to hang on your body because you want to play dress up. I ain't doing it. Not doing it. So stop it right here. Miss Jazzy, how you doing? Hey, Star, how are you? Anyhow, Lord have mercy. I'm sorry I'm late, you guys. And I'm losing my mind already. All right. Tariffs. Now okay. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. The tariffs. I want to explain a little bit. Now I don't know a whole lot about it, but I will tell you this as a person who lived in Canada for 10 years. I will tell you that you don't hardly see any American-made products in Canada. See a lot of Chinese stuff. You see some stuff that's Canadian made. You didn't see a whole lot of it made in the USA. You don't even see a U.S. bank in Canada. I never did. And I heard the president say the other day, we are not allowed to have banks there. They don't listen. So these countries, let me tell you something. These countries that are losing their minds over the fact that we want fair trade. We are tired of being taken advantage of. We are tired of people getting into these squabbles in the Middle East and then want us to come and bail them out and surrender the lives of our sons and daughters to help protect their borders, to help protect their interests. And yet they don't want to do fair trade with us. What kind of madness is that? What is that? Listen, there's a day of reckoning here, folks, and these countries are going to find out that this president is not playing. He's not off somewhere licking an ice cream cone or falling down the steps or taking a spill off his bicycle. He is at his desk at the Oval Office at the resolute desk, being as resolute as he can be about this foolishness that's been going on in this country for the last almost 10 years. Okay? That he's trying to figure it out. He's trying to get it worked out, and things are moving pretty fast. As a matter of fact, things were moving so fast that I could, every time I thought about coming on here, something else happened. It's like, wait a minute. So I just started making notes. I'm like, let's just write it down. Just write it down. So anyway, these tariffs against Mexico and Canada is on a pause. It's on a 30-day pause. Now, let me tell you something. This is what I know about this man, not because I met him, but because I can discern him. Okay. He is a very principled person. Very principled person. Is he perfect? Nah. Is he a great orator? Nah. But he's a deep thinker and he is one heck of a strategist. Okay. He's not a great orator. He ain't gonna get up there and wow you like Obama did, who was lying every time he spoke and got by on his mesmerizing tactics and all that witchcraft that was coming from him. This guy is not a great orator, but you watch what he does. Watch what he does. Don't look at just what he says or how he says it or how he didn't say it, the way you like to hear people talk and all that kind of stuff. Because he ain't Obama, not by any stretch of the imagination. And that's a good thing, okay? Because Obama sucked. But let me tell you something. The man means what he says. The man has a dead switch in place. Do you know what a dead switch is? Let me tell you what dead switch is. Dead switch is, if anything happens to me, do this, right? That's what a dead switch is. A reporter asked him the other day, because they're trying to say that I think they I don't know if they're trying to blame these assassination attempts. I think they're trying to blame it on Iran, right? Supposedly because he killed the leader of ISIS a while back when he was in the presidency before. I'm just going to tell you right now, I don't think it was a foreign government that did that. I think it was our government that tried to kill him. Okay. Uh, when you have when you have a sniper up on a roof and you have people saying, "Hey, there's a guy up there on the roof with a rifle," and the police stand down, who told them to stand down when they're looking at the guy with the rifle on the roof? Okay, that wasn't Iran. That was the Biden Harris administration. Okay, that was Secret Service. They fall under the federal jurisdiction. Our government did that. Our government was complicit in trying to snuff that man's life out. Okay, so yeah, all enemies, foreign and domestic, need to go to Gitmo. But anyway, back to these tariffs. Um, Tariffs against Mexico and Canada are on a 30-day pause to see if they will comply with the request of the United States to secure the borders, stop the free flow of deadly drugs across our border, and make an effort to operate fairly in regard to trade. What is wrong with that? Why would these people get on their national mics talking about we're not going to be bullied? We got to stand up to him. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold it. I don't have my popcorn yet, but let me see if I understand this. Canada, you don't have a military big enough to defend your country. So you depend on us to defend your country with the lives of our men and women, and you want to talk trash? You know what that's like? That's like standing in somebody else's living room, giving them your behind the kiss. That's what that's like. How is that going to work? It doesn't work. It doesn't work, Canada. It doesn't work, Mexico. Okay? He's coming for you. It's just that simple. You're going to play ball and you're going to do it the right way and you're going to do it the fair way. Nobody's asking you to give more than your fair share. Nobody's asking you to do that. What this president is saying is that we're not putting up with the abuse anymore. We're not going to let you use us like a piggy bank anymore, drawing funds from us, drawing resources from us. Yes, you supply us with electricity. Guess what? We got water. Okay, we can make electricity. We don't have to do business with you at all. At all. We don't have to do business with you. So play ball or get out of the way, and we will show you just how great of a nation we are. It's just that simple. Okay? So you got 30 days, Canada and Mexico, to get your crap together and sit down like grown folks and look all the way across the board and see what's fair. Because when a country is asking you to secure your border and stop the flow of illegal drugs from coming into their country, and somehow you feel like they're asking you for something that's wrong, something's wrong with you. Okay? Something's wrong with you. So the tariffs are on hold. We're going to give you a chance to get yourself together. And then we'll see what happens. I got that popcorn coming. I'll be back. President Trump ended men being able to compete in women's sports and has cut off funding to any school or university that allows it to take place. Good. Listen, what kind of a person, coach, school, university, whatever, thinks it's okay for a guy to play dress up or have some kind of psychological hang up where he says, I'm a woman. I want to compete in women's boxing so he can get in the ring and batter and abuse a woman. Because that's what it is. It's abuse. It's physical abuse. One woman, she got a concussion. Someone else has been permanently, partially paralyzed because a man entered into a sports arena that he had no business being in because that day, he identified as a woman. Of course, when he got finished beating up on her, he identified as a man again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we have to stop the madness, people. We have to stop the madness. And I am so glad. I wouldn't have cared if the person's name was Trump or Willie Lump Lump. I wouldn't have cared what their name was, as long as they can get rid of these crazy policies that were destroying our nation and trying to bring us to our knees, because these people are psychopaths. I told you they're crazy. They're crazy. They know they're crazy, and they want you to be crazy with them. I ain't going. I'm not going crazy. I ain't going. Okay. Now, yep. Oh, thank you, Miss Jazzy. You guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'd love for you to come back. I used to do videos, right? But it was just so much easier to just turn on the camera and just talk to you guys. But and please, please, please recommend the channel to other people. They're trying to get this whole big tech thing straightened out. I know Facebook. Now let me look. Okay. Now see. Listen. Let me tell you about Facebook. So Mark Zuckerberg has met with the president, and he went on record, Zuckerberg went on record saying that the reason that they were doing the censorship is because the Biden-Harris administration forced them into it. He said this. I saw his speech. I didn't just read it. I saw him giving the speech, okay? He said they forced him into it. They put pressure on them. I don't know what kind of pressure it was, what kind of threat it was. Maybe he was saying they were going to pull our license, you know, if we didn't play ball. Let me tell you. Let me show you the fly in that ointment. Zuckerberg said it was the Biden administration that made him do this. They put pressure on him. When President Trump was in the Oval Office in 2020, that was the Trump administration. It was not the Biden administration. So how could the Biden administration that didn't even exist yet put pressure on Zuckerberg to censor a sitting president? Okay. You know, come on. You don't even have to do the 30,000-foot view to see that. Okay. The man wasn't even in office yet. Biden was not in office. So how could he put pressure on Zuckerberg unless, follow the money, unless they had bankrolled them, unless they were in financial trouble, and Biden and his ilk decided, if you don't play ball, we're going to pull our funding and your whole little network is going to collapse. And not only that, but we'll talk to other people around the world where you have your Facebook, you know, connections that we've bought and paid for them too, and we'll tell them to pull you off the network. I don't know. But to blame it on the Biden-Harris administration is ridiculous when they did not even come into power until 4 years later. So, yeah, don't believe the hype, okay? It was not the Biden-Harris administration. Zuckerberg did what Zuckerberg did because he's in bed with China, okay? It's just that simple. All right. Y'all got something y'all was? Okay. I'm going to read your comment. I'm going to read your comments here. Oh, now see, now y'all gonna don't get me started on the plane crash. First of all, isn't it amazing? Now I know accidents happen, but it just seemed kind of disproportionate that there would be 4 plane crashes, or not 4, well, 4 incidences. Let's put it like this: in a 2-day period, 4 incidences. Okay. I think one was in Belgium and 2 were here and one was somewhere else. I can't remember where it is now because that was last week. Let me tell you something. Why would a helicopter that is being flown by a pilot who has 500 hours of flight time, which is not a lot, be on the same path as a huge commercial liner? I mean, what that's like you being on the highway going in the wrong direction. Nobody told you that you were in the wrong direction. I mean, or nobody told you that, hey, you need to slow down because you're coming up on somebody's bumper. How does that happen? I know how it happens. Because when your qualifications is that you're queer or you're gay or you're black or you're brown, that's all you have to be to qualify to fly a helicopter, gunship, or whatever it was. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, I mean, you didn't have to pass any tests. You didn't have to be psychologically sound. You didn't have to. Their qualifications, I kid you not, the president read it on the national mic what the qualifications were. They wanted to make it diverse, equitable, and inclusive. And so everyone and anyone who had a mental illness, who had a visual impairment, who was audibly challenged, couldn't hear, who was sexually confused, it didn't matter. If you had a psychological problem, if you was on medication, you could fly. Okay? Because diversity is our strength. Okay? Apparently not. Apparently not. Okay? So I'm all for, because we've seen 4 years of the clown show. Okay? I am all for the government taking back the rights of the citizens and putting it back in the hands of the citizens. I'm all for the government saying you need to have some kind of level of intelligence to fly a plane. You need to have some level of intelligence to fly a helicopter gunship. Okay, you need to have some level of intelligence and a little bit of courage to be in the United States military. And by the way, all those soldiers who were kicked out of the military because they refused to subject themselves to an experimental drug that had no data behind it, the president has said he is welcoming them back with their rank and all their back pay. And as of last week, the Army, the United States Army, has had more people re-enlist and come back to the military than any number in the past 10 years. That's amazing. That's amazing. You know why? Because we need to be protected. We have enemies in the gate. They ain't standing outside wondering how they can get in. They're in because the last administration was the enemy. They were occupying the White House. They were not governing. They were occupying the White House, allowing the enemy to come in full force. They have absolutely destroyed California. And what they couldn't destroy, well, the governor burnt it down. Just burnt it down. Don't tell me it's some wildfire from somebody's cigarette. Come on, y'all. Every single year, just follow the money. Every year, California is on fire. Every year they go to the government for emergency funds. Every single year, but you're not going to stop doing the thing that is causing this to happen every single year like clockwork. They paying for their vacations and vacations of their friends and family members and all this stuff. What happened with Lahaina? What happened with Tennessee and North Carolina? Where's the money? Why is it that the American people got $750 to help them rebuild their entire life. $750. But Ukraine, people that you never even knew, people that aren't your neighbor, got billions of dollars. And I mean billions with a B, folks. Billions of dollars. They did not care about you. I told you. I told you. Y'all remember? Just just put yes in the comments. Yes, I remember you told me that they did not care about me. All right. They didn't care about you. And I'm sitting here laughing because it's kind of like, I told you so. I ain't got no problem saying I told you so. Oh, I told you so. I told you. So now listen. Now listen. Hey, Beverly. Listen, here's the thing. This last administration has so screwed up this country. It is so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. We can't even find eggs. Okay. I mean, I told y'all, I told you better go to the store and get what you need because it's about to get crazy. I told you that. So now listen, on the 29th, they killed another 1.5 million hens. And people are wondering why they go to Sam's, Costco, and Walmart, can't find no eggs. And then when they do find eggs somewhere, they're $7, $11, $10 for one dozen. Because these companies have to stay in business, right? And in order for them to pay their bills, they got to get the money from the public. And the only way they can get the money from the public is to raise the prices of the little bit of stuff that they had to try to meet their overhead. We have a shortage of birds. We have a shortage of hens. And not only that, I just saw on the newscast today that 3 hospitals are full to capacity with some weird flu virus thing that's going around that they've unleashed on us. No doubt about that, right? 3 hospitals full to capacity. They can't take another patient. There are no beds. And there's a shortage of doctors because a lot of doctors either quit their profession because they saw what was happening and they were true to their oath not to do any harm, or they died because they took the jab. Okay, so there's a shortage of doctors. A lot of nurses quit because they just couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. So what did they do? And this included the VA. They started scraping the bottom of the barrel and beating the bushes, trying to find somebody to fill in these places. And that's how I ended up with that quackadoodle of a doctor that I had. Y'all remember Quackadoodle? I told y'all about Quackadoodle. That woman was crazy. Tried to kill me. She was trying to kill me. And it just so happened that because I had been doing my own homework about my own medication, all this kind of stuff, for those of you who don't know this story, I had this quackadoodle doctor. That woman needed her license taken. I'm telling you what. I started looking up the medications that I was currently taking. One of them said not for long-term use. Nobody told me. 6 years had gone by, 7 years had gone by, and I'm thinking, why am I on this? If I hadn't taken the time to invest in my own self and look this stuff up and see what are the side effects of this and what's the data saying about this? And I ain't no medical expert, but I got a little bit of common sense. Not for long-term use means not for long-term use. Just let your mind go broad on what does long-term mean. I'm thinking 6 or 7 years kind of qualifies, right? Right. So I sent her the information, a peer-reviewed study, 17 pages long. I said, I need to be off this medication. You know what she said? She suggested that I double the dose. Or you know what? I reported her to the VA administration. I said, this woman is a quack. Y'all need to do something about her. I need a different doctor. She will never see my face again. Ever. Ever. She doesn't need to be treating anybody because she's crazy. Okay? When I send you a study showing what your peers have said this stuff is dangerous for long-term use, and you won't tell me to double the dose? What is wrong with you? See, that's what happens when all of these well-qualified doctors who actually cared about their patients quit their jobs, and then the VA and all these other hospitals got to beat the bushes and scrape the dirt to get the dregs of society to be doctors and nurses. I'm telling you, you better take your own health into your own hands, do your own research, consult with naturopath doctors, and see, okay, what is my alternative here? What do I need to do to get healthy? Because this medication or these medications have more side effects than it has benefits. And that's the lie that they will try to tell you, is that, well, if your doctor prescribed that, it's because he felt like, or she felt like, that the benefits outweighed the risk. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Now, if you look at a commercial on TV, when I was coming up, there weren't any commercials that say, ask your doctor about this medicine or ask your doctor about that medicine. Well, I got to ask my doctor. Shouldn't he know? First of all, shouldn't he know what I need if he's looking at my chart? And second of all, why is it that one of the side effects could be you could go blind? And some people experience kidney problems. You could get heart palpitation. You might pass out, but it'll lower your blood pressure. Well, I guess it will. If it kills me, it'll lower my blood pressure. Sure enough, you know? Oh, my Lord. Yes, we have a shortage of common. Beverly said we have a shortage of common sense. You got that right. People is crazy. Okay, people crazy. Look around you. You'll find one. There's somebody standing nearby that's probably crazy. I'm telling you, they're everywhere. It's nuts. Anyhow, look, y'all. I've been telling you forever about prepping. I've been telling you forever about getting your food. Get your food. Now see. I told you about them eggs and stuff. I told y'all you better get. I even told. Listen, if you looked at my other channel, the Christopath, you know, the one that I have not posted on in 2 years because there's so much stuff over there. Forget the whole thing. Just go over there and look at it. But anyway, and it's in the description. Listen, you have got to keep prepping because food is getting short. Did you notice stuff is starting to disappear from the shelves and they're fronting everything? They're trying to push everything to the front so that the store doesn't look so empty. Some of these stores are even changing their floor plan so that the floor, it's a psychological thing that they're doing because they don't want the public to panic, right? And panic buying. Listen, if you have been prepping all along, you don't need to panic buy. You don't have to do that. Now, if you're just getting on board, you better hurry up. Okay. I'll tell you, because stuff is getting, listen, all the fires in California, let me just give you a heads up. If you think that's not going to affect the price of fruit, you're wrong. We get a lot of fruit from Mexico and California and wine. Not that I'm a drinker, but I'm just saying. We got stuff that comes from the West Coast that is shipped in or trucked in to the Midwest and the East and all that. Well, if it's all burned down or washed away, all the topsoil's gone, everything's flooded out. Where the food at? Where the food at? Where's the food? See? Where's the food? Where is the food? So I'm just saying, even stuff that was in warehouses, if the warehouses burned down, y'all, where is the food? If they're killing off all the chickens, where are the eggs? There aren't any. Not only aren't any eggs, there ain't no chickens. Okay? So listen. And then 2 years before that, it was this whole thing about the beef and cow farts, and AOC was losing her mind over climate change. And climate change. Your concern is climate change, and we got people sleeping on the streets that can't find anywhere to live because they can't afford it. And you're worried about climate change? The climate is always changing. It's called the 4 seasons, okay? The climate always changes. Just get over that. My goodness. Anyway. Then there's all this food that's being recalled. Wait a minute. Don't tell me. I was going to say, raise your hand if you ran in your kitchen and start pulling stuff off your shelves and start sending food back to the grocery store. So wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can't believe nothing that administration told you. You can't believe nothing they say. You cannot believe anything they say. Because let me tell you, some of them are career pathological liars. This is what they have been doing their whole life. Listen, when they broke the womb, they probably came out telling a lie. Okay, these people been lying since they've been on the planet. So, my God. Anyway, they're counting on, hi, Leanne, they're counting on you emptying your own cabinet. Because you know what? It costs too much money and it's too much muscle to go door to door, city to city, town to town, hamlet to hamlet, confiscating everybody's food. So they'll just throw out some more fear and let you empty your own cabinets. Okay. Lord have mercy. Look, you better keep your food. That's why you better keep your food. Because if you throw away your stuff or you take it back to the store, and then you say, well, I'm just gonna buy some more. Well, there ain't no more because the store done pulled it all off the shelf, right? So that's gone. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Don't do that to yourself. Okay. At least make them work for it. Make them come get it. Don't just give it to them. Dang, they already taking stuff from you. They're already stealing your labor. But with all the taxes and all, listen, y'all, I'm telling you, there's a new sheriff in town and he ain't playing. Okay. He ain't playing. He ain't playing. And I'm just sitting back here like, wow, this is crazy. Whew. Somebody said, I don't know if it was a line in a movie or whatever it is, but somebody said, now I don't believe in this. I'm just telling you, it just kind of seems to fit right now. But somebody said, revenge is a dish best served up cold. All right. Now, they were trying to get President Trump to promise us that you're going to seek peace and that you're not going to go after your political enemies. Wait a minute. You can use the catchphrase political enemy all you want to. It ain't even about politics. It's about lawlessness. It's about the fact that these people have aided and abetted criminals. They have put your life and my life at risk because they have unleashed their own insanity upon this country at our expense. There's a law for that. Okay. And I think that this administration, I wouldn't care what the name was hanging over the Oval Office. It could have been my last name. Okay. I don't care. As long as the administration that is in place now is there, number one, fairly and squarely because of the voice of the people of the nation, number one. And number two, they mean what they say. They're going to do what they say. And if they can't do what they say, it's because it couldn't get through Congress or couldn't get through the Senate or couldn't get through both houses. And therefore, it could not happen, right? Because the president does not make law. He can do stuff by executive order. That's not exactly the way we want things done. We want some things absolutely reversed by Congress and the Senate and all that. But he can temporarily put a stay on some things and temporarily put some things in motion until it can work its way through the courts. And don't even get me started on the courts, okay, with these corrupt judges that are paying their family members to be prosecutors to destroy man's life and his family. Don't even get me started. Okay. Anyway, why are you laughing? Oh my gosh, what a world, huh? Welcome to the jungle. Look, you guys, keep prepping, stay peaceful. Above all things, pray. Pray that God would set the country back in order, that God would put the people in place that He wants in place to turn this mess around. I'm going to tell you something. I can see the victory and the evil being in lockstep with each other, okay? Every time the people score a victory, as far as an executive order not allowing men to compete in women's sports. Now, listen, I want to tell you something. The states do have rights, okay? The states have rights. And if you're living in Washington State or Pennsylvania or whatever other state that's blue, I don't know if Pennsylvania is still blue. But anyway, if you're living in a blue state where they're embracing all this debauchery and confusion and lawlessness and all this kind of stuff, I feel sorry for you, first of all. And second of all, I really do. I feel sorry because nobody should be subjected to that unless you're part of it. And if you were, you wouldn't even be sitting here with me right now. So I feel sorry for your friends and your loved ones that are living in those kinds of places. But here's the thing. If the state or the jurisdiction does not want to comply with that, they can fight it in court because the states do have rights. Now, the most that the federal government can do to remedy that is to not fund it. And that's what he said. We're going to cut off funding. He's not making it illegal because he can't do that because the states have rights, right? But he can say, we ain't giving you no money to do what we have said federally is against the law, is against the federal law, right? So it's kind of like the same thing with the marijuana. Some states have legalized marijuana. Canada has legalized fentanyl, all of these hard drugs that you should have to have a prescription for. They have completely removed the law. It's legal. You can just shoot up wherever you want to. We will give you a needle. I kid you not. They will supply you with the kit to shoot up. Okay. Canada has law. That is a failed state. That place is horrible. And I think the best thing my husband and I could have ever done was to flee that place. That place is terrible. But anyhow, Canada is like, especially British Columbia and Toronto, they are like California. They are the California of Canada. It's terrible. Anyway, if you're living in a place like that, I don't know what to tell you, except you really, really have to watch. You really need to watch your back. You really need to be careful. It is so dangerous. It is so dangerous to walk the streets, to even go to a store. You don't even know when somebody's going to walk in there and just walk out with a shopping cart full of stuff because they've made it legal for you to shoplift. I mean, what kind of insanity? Who keeps voting Newsom in? I want to know. How is it that that man has been able to keep that governorship for this long? So I can tell you this. One of three things. I got three. Okay, here's three things. Number one of three is he cheated. And that's how he's been able to stay in. Number two of three, he's been told you better stay in and help us complete our mission, or we're going to expose all the money laundering and stuff that you've been doing in the trafficking and all that. Or number three, the people are absolutely crazy if they have bought into this and they are embracing the homelessness, the drugs, and the trafficking that's going on in that state. I mean, pick a struggle, folks. Pick a struggle. How does somebody like that get to stay in office all these years doing that to his state? How is that a thing? Anyway. All right. Let me leave California alone. I don't live there. I got family there and they probably crazy enough to be applauding that stuff too. They crazy. Anyway, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that maybe by now they might be just too embarrassed to tell me I was right. But as long as they got a clue, I don't care. If they ain't got a clue, I got a quarter. They can go buy a clue. Just get one. Just get a clue. Just get a clue. Anyway. Okay. Am I done? I don't know. Listen, is there something else y'all want me to talk about? Because, I can go a while. I don't want to leave you on here forever. I do want to thank you, those of you who have texted me and called me and said, it's time to do a video. It's time to do a broadcast. I'm telling you, stuff was moving so fast. Every time I thought about doing one, something else happened. And I'm like, oh my God, So I just started, making notes. I just thought, let me just compile a list and I'll just make some notes. And then when I talk, I'll just, talk about it. Listen, I'm telling you, from the time I got on here until now, something else probably happened that I don't know about yet. I'm gonna get on here and be like, what? Listen, thank God that we have a little bit of a reprieve. But the fight ain't over, y'all. We're just getting started. The man only been in office since the sixth. I mean, listen, we got a long way to go. There's been a lot of damage done, but by the grace of God, I tell you, and let me tell you something else that I know. There have been a lot of people that have left the country on their own because I feel, like I said before, I feel sorry for some of these people because I think they realize that they were lied to. They realized that they were promised, room and board and education and all this kind of stuff. And it's like I told my husband, the government waved the carrot in front of them. But then they found out there wasn't no stew. Okay? It's just a carrot. This is all you get. There ain't no stew. There's no substance to it. They were told they would be given housing and all that. They were not told that if they were single, they would only be given housing for 30 days. Now, these people didn't come from thousands of miles away, and they were not told, we'll let you stay here for 30 days. They were just told, just come in, bring us your torn and your worn and all, whatever. They were bankrolled through U.S. aid and all these stuff, Soros, Open Society Foundation, all of these conglomerates got together and said, we're going to take down the West by flooding them with migrants. They did the same thing in Sweden. They did the same thing in the UK. The UK is a mess. It's a mess. It is a mess. Okay? It's bad over there. It's bad. And it's as bad, it's worse there than it is here. It's bad. And it's bad here. But anyhow, they lied to these people. They didn't tell them, if you come in and you have a family, we'll only house you for 60 days. They didn't tell them that. They just, made them flush with cash and told them, come on, we'll take care of you. Now make sure you vote Democrat now when you come, because we're the ones that take care of you. We're the ones that are for the people. I could say something about that, but I ain't gonna say it because I'll probably get banned from YouTube. But anyway, I feel sorry for them. I do, because they were lied to. Some of them knew they were doing the wrong thing. I mean, listen, let me ask you something. If somebody comes to your house and decide under cover of darkness, they're going to cut a hole in your wall and come into your house, are they supposed to be there? Do you know them? Did you invite them? How'd they get in? Did they come through the door? I know. Okay. That's called trespassing. Okay. That's what that is. That's trespassing. In this state, without question, you can shoot to kill. Okay. If somebody comes into your house and you don't know them, you did not invite them, you have to assume that they are there to do you harm, either to you or your property, and you have the absolute right in the state of Oklahoma to defend yourself. Full stop. Full stop. So let me ask you something. Why is it that people can cut barbed wire, climb over fences, tunnel under buildings to get into your country and get paid for it? Would you pay them if you found them in your house? Here's a month's worth of rent, or here's a month's worth of what? There's laws for that, folks, and we need to get with our legislators and make sure that they are not voting policies and stuff into your state where you live that gives strength and legs to this kind of craziness. All right. You need to get these people out of office. Do your job, do your homework, look up these people. And, these guys and gals that are running for office, what do they stand for? What do they stand for? Are their principles in line with yours? Or do they want to give you some bleeding heart story? We're a nation of immigrants and we're supposed to have, listen, we are one of the most compassionate nations on the planet. At one time, we were considered the breadbasket of the world. Did you know that? Because we give so much money and we allow so many people to come in the course of a year. But people have abused that. They have taken advantage of that. Not only have they taken advantage of it, but they've exploited people who were looking for a better life, telling them, just do it this way. It'll be all right. I got your back. I got you. I got you. Yeah. And now they're all going back. They will go back willingly or they will be sent to Gitmo. That's their choice. Okay. And I'm for that. And I want you to understand that I am absolutely for that because lawlessness is a scourge on a nation. It absolutely is. And it's an abomination to God. And so, hey, I'm just going to take my part with God. That's how I feel about it. I'm done, I think. I should be. Because like I said, I'm going a while. And I was already late when I came on here. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. Please share the channel. You might get cussed out. I had somebody tell me one time they shared my channel with their family member, and they're like, why you send me something like that? Well, send it to him 2 or 3 years from now. Maybe he'll appreciate it then. But you guys, I need you to share the channel because a lot of you do not get the notifications. And I've had a lot of people tell me they don't get the notifications. And I had one of my subscribers on here tonight, AJB, asked me, just text me when you get ready to go on. So I text her, I'm getting ready to go on, and it's a shame that YouTube does that, but that's what they do. And I heard some people say they just had to start a whole new channel and tell people to go over to that channel. And when they started a whole new channel, all of a sudden they had thousands of subscribers, whereas the other one was damped down to 200 and 300 and all this. Same person. They said they just had to start a whole new channel where there was no algorithm attached to it, right? And then all these people come flooding in. And I'm like, yeah, that'll work till you start talking about the same stuff. Then they're going to flag your channel again, like they've done mine and so many other people, content creators on here. So anyhow, if you wonder what my shirt says, it says socialism distancing since 1776. That's what the shirt says. Just in case you was wondering what side of this I'm on. I'm a Yankee. Anyway, all right, you guys, I appreciate you being here tonight. This weekend is Super Bowl Sunday, they tell me, if you're into that kind of thing. I'm not a sports person. I used to just watch the commercials that they had come up. It was so stupid. But I don't understand the game, really. But anyway, enjoy your weekend if you're into that. I think the last time I tried to watch it, it was so much demonic stuff on there. I'm like, yeah, nope. I was finished with that. Anyway, thank you guys for coming on, and thank you for your interaction. I really like to interact with people, even when I'm off of the live broadcast. If you write a comment, please write a comment. Do something in the comment section, not the chat box, in the comment section, right? Because it helps keep the channel visible. It helps beat the algorithm if they know that there's interaction on there. Because if there's not enough interaction, they use that as an excuse to hide your channel. So I need you guys to promote the channel, help me promote the channel, and suggest it to other people, send it to other people, comment in the comment section. I will respond to your comment. If you comment, I will respond to it. So, and my email address is in the description right under here. So I will see you down there in the comment section. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming on. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel. And I will see you guys the next time I come on. Love, grace, peace. Keep prepping and stay peaceful. I'll see you next time.